look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they're 2-3 now. They lost to a team that they were supposed to beat, that many people thought they were going to beat. Patrick Mahomes threw that interception to Devin Lloyd. I will say, though, I was talking to Brian before the show. When I was looking at the film, I understand pick six. You don't want to do that as a quarterback. But you got to give credit to Devin Lloyd. Devin Lloyd made a hell of a play. That was a hell of a defensive play. What happened was Devin Lloyd faked like he was going to blitz. And he did a really good job of tricking Mahomes into thinking that he was going to blitz. Well, he timed it perfectly to where he looked like he was going to blitz. And then as Mahomes was going through his throwing motion, he was looking at the wide receiver. Devin Lloyd came out of nowhere at the last millisecond and picked off Patrick Mahomes. That was an amazing play by the defense, by the defender. So you got to give Devin Lloyd a lot of credit to that. I'm not going to just be like, oh, Patrick Mahomes, how can you throw that? Listen, sometimes great quarterbacks make mistakes. That was a great play by Devin Lloyd. But besides that, I thought Mahomes played a good game. I thought he was very accurate. I was looking at the numbers. I think he had over 70% completion percentage. He had that one touchdown, and then he had another one where he was rushing. I thought he was very decisive. I thought he was very good in picking his spots, when to run, when to pass. There were moments where I felt like the receivers, him and the receiver, I think maybe Worthy, he was trying to throw the ball Worthy deep down the field, and Worthy couldn't track the ball. That was one play I was like, all right, Worthy, like you gotta help your quarterback out on that one. But you just got to give credit to the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. I think the defense is to blame for this game. I did not think the defense was going to look this bad, especially seeing Chris Jones at the end of that game not hustle when Trevor Lawrence was able to get outside the pocket and get in the end zone. That was just terrible by Chris Jones. I don't know what he was doing on that play. I don't know what he was thinking, but to me, this game boiled down to the defense, in my opinion. I think they gave up 21 answered points. You can't do that. Come on. That's not Kansas City Chiefs football. What was your thoughts on the game? I said a lot, but what is your thoughts?
Oh, man. I do got something about the Jaguars. Even though they did win, Trevor Lawrence, I still don't see it. I still don't see it with Trevor Lawrence. He did make a really good throw to Brian Thomas Jr. on that final drive to take the lead. So I'll give him that one. That was a heck of a throw, right? It was perfectly placed. No one could contest it. Great throw. But he's made so many mistakes, from not getting the ball snapped, taking delay of game penalties, falling all over the place. He failed twice on the game-winning touchdown play. Like, that could have very much ended in disaster if the Chiefs defenders wasn't lollygagging. I don't know what the heck they was doing out there. The man failed twice and nobody was around to get him. Whatever. But there's just so many plays. Like, it was just like, man, he got away with a couple throws too. Remember that one play that got tipped up in the air and the two Chief defenders were nearby and they couldn't come down with, like, this is stuff I be talking about with Trevor Lawrence. It's just, I don't see it with him. He doesn't give off generational to me, like, at all. Like, at all. Like, seriously, like, they won this game, but the defense won this game. Let's keep it all the way under. The defense won this game for them. And, man, Liam Cohen, he's putting together a good game plan. Like, people are open. It's just like, what is going on at the QB position? Couldn't really run the ball this game.
No.
But that's the Chiefs' defense. Chiefs is very stingy run defensively. So I probably kind of expected that. But, man, you putting the ball, you got to rely on Trevor Lawrence to win these kind of games. I don't know how long the defense going to bail them out. But, you know, he made the play to win the game. So in the eyes of the media, it's all well and well. But on the Chiefs side, and I like what I saw from the Chiefs offense at times. Like, they really started, what I noticed, they were getting a lot of chunk plays, and they weren't really doing that earlier in the season. I'm seeing a lot of like chunk plays. Xavier Worthy, Kareem Hunt got some chunk plays. Even Pacheco was getting a little bit of chunk. So the offense looked more explosive. You know, it looked more explosive compared to earlier weeks. So that's a positive. But that defense, it seems like they regressed this year. Even though it's pretty much the same unit as last year. I don't recall them losing much of anybody over this offseason, but they just don't look like the same dominant unit we're used to seeing out of them. So the defense really cost them the game. Like you said, they had 21 unanswered points or something like that. That's unacceptable. That's just unacceptable. And with that with that championship caliber you have, you just can't allow that. I don't care if you want to roll, you at home. It really doesn't matter. That is unacceptable. A lot of players left on the ball. A lot of penalties committed on that Chiefs secondary. So yeah, I did enjoy watching the game. It was very entertaining. But the Chiefs defense sold them out on that one because Pat Mahomes once again put them in a position to win. Went down, got a touchdown. Could you debate they scored a little too early? You can, but at the end of the day, you got to get the points when you can. So, yeah, but the defense sold them that one. I can't even blame Pat on the offense really at all for what transpired. But so it was good offense, bad defense versus mediocre offense and good defense. That's pretty much the story of the game. And I also did like seeing on Jaguars. I did like seeing Travis Hunter get more involved on the offensive and had really two big plays. He had that one, I think that was a post route. He went and caught on pretty much two dudes. Then he had another play. He was up the sideline. He juked out two defenders. So this is exactly what you want to see from a guy you drafted. You traded up to draft number 2 overall in this year's draft. I'm glad he's really getting out there and getting some more production on the offense, man. Defensively, he kind of looks a little, I don't want to say lost, but you can tell he's not used to getting continuous reps with those guys out there because some players is like, oh, does he know what he's really supposed to be doing out there? But overall, progress. Love to see it for Travis Hunter.
Yeah, and that one play that you're talking about where he caught it over two dudes, that was an underthrow by Trevor Lawrence. And Travis Hunter made a great play like he always does. So you mentioned Trevor Lawrence and you don't see it. That's just a play where a dude bails him out. He was very fortunate this game. They won the game. He was able to get a game-winning drive. But, boy, he made a bunch of mistakes. He made a bunch of game-losing mistakes. And fortunately, he has a defense that is able to generate turnovers. He has wide receivers that can bail him out if he needs to be bailed out. Now he did. I like that touchdown throw to Washington. That was a really good throw.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And also you mentioned the throw to Brian Thomas Jr. towards the sideline. That was probably the best throw I've seen from him in years because that was a very difficult throw to complete. So salute to him for that. But yeah, man, the Chiefs. Last week I was like, man, Chiefs. It seems like they gotta. Seems like they're on their way to go back to the Super Bowl. I don't know. I honestly don't know. If that defense doesn't improve, we have a problem. So they got to figure something out with that defense because right now, that's not a championship level defense. The reason why they were able to win the past few Super Bowls is because they've had a dominant defense. They didn't need to go out and get a number 1 caliber receiver like a Tyreek Hill. They can rely on number 2 wide receiver guys, number 3 wide receiver guys because they have that defense. The offense is getting better, which is great because you need your offense to get better, especially with Patrick Mahomes. That's a great sign. But if they're going to win a Super Bowl, they need that defense to hold up, and they need Chris Jones and those boys to get to the quarterback because if they can't, then I don't see them getting past Josh Allen and the Bills, even though we're going to talk about it later that the Bills lost. But, man, like they need that defense to play well because if not, then Buffalo, Josh Allen, seems like they're ready to finally get to the Super Bowl. So, yeah. Maybe. But it's still early in the season. We're not even halfway through the season yet. We're
literally just got 6. Like over a quarter.